Okay, here is another one of my wood gas stoves. Same internal setup, a little bit bigger. This is like a green bean can. This is a Bush's baked bean can with evenly spaced holes. And then I have the lid. I punched a hole in the lid to make a ring that holds it. And it's just filled up with 2x4s this time I'm using. They're split a lot smaller than that. Probably I can get 3 pieces out of this. And then I have some paper, some cotton, and a little bit of Weber cube mixed in just on top to light. So I'm going to get it lit and then I'll turn the camera back on. We'll see where this goes. As you might notice, I filled it up past the holes, which I heard you're not supposed to do, but I wanted to see if it really did make a difference. Up until it got started, I didn't think it really mattered. But it's loosely packed, it's not packed too tight. So I'm thinking if it gets past that point where it starts making wood gas, it'll be burned past that point. So we'll see how that works out. Now, those Weber cubes work pretty good, and they pretty much fall all the way down because I crumbled them up pretty good. In fact, they're down here a little bit. You might be able to see some of the white specks, but they work pretty good. They fall in between the wood and help keep it lit until it really starts up. And of course the cotton and the paper are just there to help that process. I'm hoping that this will be enough to take off. There is a little bit of wood gas coming out, I think, in this corner. I'm just going to let it go and see what happens. I'm going to turn the camera off, and then once it burns past that point and it looks like it's on its own, then I'll turn it back on. Okay, it's been approximately 8 minutes or so, maybe a little less. So it's starting to run a little bit on its own now. And two things. One, I think loading it up takes a little bit longer to start it up when you load it up more on to the top than I normally did the last time. And starting to smoke a little bit on that side. I don't think it's being lit. Let me see here. And the other thing I noticed is that this is a newer design than I did the last time, and I added more holes, more smaller holes around here, hoping that it would disperse the wood gas a little more evenly, and hopefully it would stay lit better. But this is not staying lit here. And then let me get some of this ash out of here. And the holes at the bottom here are twice as big as these, spaced the same evenly. And then these holes are twice as big as these holes. I was trying to make these holes bigger than these holes. The same with these, just proportionally bigger. See if that did anything. And then of course the holes on the bottom of the can are the same sizes up here. They're on the top. So they're these are a little bit bigger than eighth. And the ones on directly on the bottom can are a little bit bigger than eighth. And then the ones on the side here are twice as big as these up here. And then these are twice as big as the ones on the bottom. So everything's proportionally bigger. So I thought that might do something, I don't know. Okay, this is taken off now. See, I'm lighting this wood gas over here a little bit more. It's coming more out the top, I think, because it's not being lit. But it's going now. As I say, I'm still learning. You know, these aren't really roughly. Everything's just by eye right now. I'm designing some stuff on SolidWorks, trying to visualize and work out the details so that I have a nice model to look at, as far as like a three-dimensional model. I'm going to work out all the details, the whole pattern, sizes, everything. But now I have to learn how to use SolidWorks, so but it's nice. The last time I took several times to start it, it worked pretty good with putting the Weber cube down in there and then using either paper, or I use paper and Q-tip or cotton balls, and just kind of shove them in there, and one match lit the whole thing up. I haven't touched it since, just this piece of wood that I put in there. So I'm hoping that this will I mean, it's got a pretty good flame in there. Nothing's coming out the bottom here like before. Every time the wind blew, gas would come out here. And the wind's not really blowing as much as the other day, but it's blowing pretty good. Every once in a while we'll get a little gust. This one's going to burn for a little while. Like I said, this is different wood the last time I did use 2x4, I have another video that I'm editing right now that I'm going to put up. You'll probably see first, but this is a different 2x4. It's a little bit heavier and more dense than the other one. The other one seemed drier because it was cut. This came from like the center section of a 2x4, and it's a little bit heavier. I think it has a little more density to it than what I was using the first time. Actually, the first time I was using pieces of fat wood, but I did film a video in between that used 2x4. I just have this out here. I'm not using it at all in here. Alright, so I'm going to let this run for a little bit and periodically turn the camera on and show you. Okay, it's been about another 8 or 10 minutes or so, and it's burned down a little bit, and it's no longer putting out any wood gas, but if I blow on it, then I can get it to come back up. So let me show you that. See, and it starts producing a little bit. So it's glowing red down there. So it looks like it's just kind of like into charcoal now. But it is, I mean, it is glowing down there. You can see it. You can see the heat rising up. You can see it. Then I could get a little bit more flame out of it, but it's a lot of residual heat coming off of this. I mean, this is pretty uncomfortable holding my hand up there, but I'm not producing any more wood gas. Now if I put some wood in there and maybe I can get some more going, I can definitely do that, but this is one batch loaded that hasn't been touched since I lit it, so let me try kind of stirring this up a little bit just to see. Put a piece in there. See where a couple, let that go, and then I'll put another piece. This is the first time it really started smoking since I lit it. I noticed with putting too much wood in too quickly, 1 or 2 pieces is it. You put any more than that in there and you're going to pretty much put it out. I got that one, it's lit. It's producing now. Put that one up in the center. And now normally when you're running these, if you can get to the, if you're not boiling anything up here or heating anything or whatever, and you have it set up where you can add wood as it's running, if you need to, then just putting in a couple pieces like I just did, once they're lit, it's going to start up again. Now I also wondered what would happen if you added to the point where you've added so much wood that it's just full of embers. If you're going to end up getting to the point where you're covering up the where the wood gas comes out, and I don't know if you're going to end up plugging the holes up down here on the inside where the combustion is. If you do that, then it may or may not work anymore. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to sit here and add some more pieces and see where this goes. Alright, thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. What are you doing down there? Come here. You're all wet. Huh? You going in? You going in the house? Come here. What are you doing? Hmm? Big kitty. Sit down.